guys, it's Amber and welcome back to my channel. Or if you're new here, hi, hello, welcome. Today we are going to be doing something very exciting and we are going to be checking out the new patch that was just released for The Sims 4. So I think everyone kind of knows that this is a massive patch and it is very much needed, but this is a patch to address some issues with skin tones and to significantly expand the range of skin tones offered in The Sims 4. So as a person of color myself, I've been using custom skin tones to really feel like I can achieve what I want in my Sims for kind of as long as I've known that custom skin tones exist. And so this is kind of the first time that The Sims has really made a conscious effort to try and make an adjustment and really hear their audience say that we want these skin tones. And so this is what was added. So as you guys can see, for these skin tones, they added, I guess technically 4 different categories. So we have warm skin tones, we have neutral, we have cool, and then we also have miscellaneous, which can be used for like occult Sims. I do also play with berry Sims in a lot of my free time and on my Tumblr, and so that would, all those skin tones would kind of fit there. But from what I've heard, custom skin tones are broken right now, or they don't show up in casts. Sims that are already using a custom skin tone can continue to have that, but they won't show up here in casts yet. So I am going to look at this update without any CC in my game, and then I am going to actually load it back up with CC so we can check out and see if anything's happened to the custom makeup, skin overlays, things like that, and see if those are still working. So the first thing we'll do, obviously, is check out all of the different skin tones. So I think we're going to start with kind of the lightest and the darkest skin tones just to see what kind of range we're getting from this update. So this is going to be our lightest warm skin tone, and I like it. I think that the lightest skin tone previously was also a warm skin tone, but for me it always came across as really yellow, so anytime I used it I just didn't feel good for my sim. Also, I didn't mention, but there is this little slider, so for any skin tone you can use this slider to either darken it or lighten the skin, and then if you see a color that you enjoy, you can hit this little plus and it'll save this skin tone, so it'll just be here for you, and then you can delete it if you don't want it. I'm not entirely sure yet, just because I haven't had the chance to check if you save these skin tones if they'll always be in your cast, but I would assume so. Certainly they will, at least for this save game. And then our deepest skin tone for warm is going to be this, and I love this color. I think it looks so good. I will say that there does appear to be, and I don't know if you guys can see, kind of like right on the bridge of her nose, it looks red to me, and it looks like that's a little bit of a glitch, and I'm not seeing it even on like the lighter skin tones. Like there's a lot of light there, so I don't know if this is kind of the result of them like trying to do like that kind of highlight on the bridge of the nose. But to me, it's looking just a little bit off. It does look better than I feel like the skin tones have previously, and I am really impressed with the depth of skin for this. Like I love to see like this like representation of this color in the Sims, and honestly in anything. I feel like you don't see people with this sort of skin tone, but they exist, and I think it's really good to show that in this game. So this is going to be moving on to the neutrals. This is going to be our lightest neutral skin tone, and I'm actually really excited to see this because, like I mentioned, I feel like the lightest skin tones previously was just, it was very like yellow, it's a very warm undertone, and I felt like a lot of people that I see that have very fair complexions, they do have a lot of like red undertones, a lot of pink undertones in their skin, and I'm glad to see that we'll be able to kind of represent that and create that. And then this is our darkest warm, and it's not quite as deep as the, I mean, this is our darkest neutral, I should say. It's not as deep as the warm, and so I like it. I do think that it honestly maybe looks a little bit better, just like aesthetically. I don't see the red on the nose, though I might be seeing it around like on the cheeks and then kind of in the mouth on this one when I darken it this way. It's kind of hard for me to tell. It's always been a little bit hard for me to tell about like the varying skin tones, and I do think that one does, because I feel like this color actually doesn't. I feel like this one Yeah, I feel like this one looks better. When you darken it, I feel like it's actually a cleaner looking skin tone. So do you think that I'm seeing a little bit of kind of red splotching on this particular skin tone? Then moving into the cool, this is our lightest cool undertone. It looks very similar to the neutral to me, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I guess I do see slightly, it's slightly pinker. Okay, I'll say this is a slightly pinker skin tone. Again, I think it's good because people do have varying skin tones. And then for the darkest color, I love this color. I love this color. I think it's so pretty. For this one, I almost feel like the tip of her nose is like, in this one the tip of the nose looks red, but in this one the tip of the nose almost looks like greenish, but and then there's like a red bar kind of like right above the tip of her nose I'm kind of seeing on this one when you do slide it to the max. It does look like here it looks fine, so I think some of these skin tones still, when you're using the slider, I feel like some of these areas for the color you can start to see some glitches. For this one right above it, like I said, this nose looks kind of red to me, but I do like this range. I like seeing this. I like being able to do this for my Sims and add these sorts of colors to them, and I think that this is going to make a huge difference for a lot of people playing their games. Also, I think I'll be interested to see kind of how this works with genetics. Like, is the game going to continue to assign children one parent's color and then maybe potentially use the slider to kind of make some adjustments depending on where the mom slider is or the dad slider is, or will they just get kind of an exact color? Because I think that this could add a lot to like genetics. If you've seen my legacy, you've kind of seen that my husband and I are actually pretty different colors. And so in real life with genetics and children, you can always end up with kind of like a range of children, but they're usually not the exact color of their parents. So it'd be really cool to see if, you know, they've incorporated that with this update. Additionally, we do have our miscellaneous colors, kind of like our sliders. For these, I feel like these colors don't make as much, like these sliders don't make as much of a difference on these colors, but it's still cool to be able to have, I think. Especially this color, because I always feel like this color is kind of weird because I feel like it's for like vampires that have like a dark skin tone, but this color always just comes off as kind of weird for me. I think we're gonna go with something like this color. I think that's cute. And then let's test out some makeup. So I feel like the makeup in The Sims 4 has been problematic or not that good. The matte collection, I know a lot of people hate it, but I did always like this particular eyeshadow. However, I only ever used like this color. But we're gonna test out some of these other ones and see if this kind of can help. So for the sliders, we have hue, we have opacity, we have saturation, and then we also have brightness. So let's test out like the hue and let's see what kind of colors we can get. So we can go to like a icy blue and then like get more of like a yellowy tone. So let's go back around like this yellowy tone, and then let's drop our opacity a little bit. So this will be the opacity turned all the way down, which I actually like because I love just like a nice like inner corner pop that actually looks really good on her. Let's turn it up just a little bit more. And then for saturation, if we go all the way up, you can kind of see that that really saturates those colors versus desaturating it. It almost gets like, it's like a really muted color. It looks completely different. And I actually really like that, but I think we'll go kind of like right there. And then for brightness, we turn the brightness all the way up. It looks kind of, it just kind of lightens it versus darkening it down, which I actually think looks really good. I think that this is going to actually make a really big difference for a lot of this makeup to make it to a point where you can like utilize it. Cause like something like this just always looks, I don't know, it just looks, it's got a very clown aesthetic to it, whereas something like this just looks a lot better to me. And so I really do think this is going to make a big difference for makeup in this game, especially for a lot of simmers, or when you're using like darker skin tones or even like lighter skin tones. Some of these things are like, they're so dark that like it doesn't make sense for the different skin tones. Let's also try, blush is rough in The Sims. So blush, it looks like only has the opacity slider. But I think that that's gonna help because like This is a bit much, you know, but something like this gives like a little bit more of like a natural glow. So I think that's going to make a huge difference for gameplay. And then the other thing that is just, it's too much, is lips. So like I enjoy the MAC and I love like their full opacity, but sometimes something like that just gives a little bit more of like a natural look. You can also change the hue on the lipsticks as well. So you can get completely different colors that like aren't included here. I'd be curious with like something like this, like what kind of colors. Oh, I love purple. That blue is really pretty, like that green. This is really cool with these lips. I really like this. Like this is actually really neat. To see, you do kind of just have to click through to see which colors you're getting. And then like if we turn down the opacity a little bit, like that just looks like you can even saturate it more. So it's got a little bit more of like an orangish tone, or like kind of desaturate a little bit. The brightness, so like you can make like your Sims perfect nude. I think this is gonna make such a big difference when it comes to creating Sims. And I think it's gonna make the in-game makeup a lot more usable, because I just feel like it's just kind of not, like a lot of these things are just not something that I ever use. Like basically the only thing I ever use in game is like this one, and it's like the sheerest thing in the game. Like I feel like it's just like a gloss, and even this like looks a lot better when you can kind of reduce that opacity. So I love that. I think this is gonna make a huge difference to the game. I did also want to show a male Sim just so that we can see, because I just feel like the boys just don't ever get, you know, all the same things. But as you guys can see, all the same things for the guys, so steel sliders. Additionally, I think there were a couple of base game hair updates in this as well, and I think it was one of the male Sims hairs. Not this one, I don't think. Maybe this one? If not, I mean, I like this hair. I think it's pretty good. But I know one of the little girl hairs got an update, so he's gonna have to become a little girl. I thought it might have been this one, but I don't think so. Oh, it's this one. There we go. So we got the baby hairs going, which I actually think looks really good for like this sort of hair, because I do feel like, well, if you don't know, when you braid your hair, you're not supposed to do this. Like, you're not supposed to snatch back the edges. Like, that's how you end up with no edges. So this is definitely a much better way to braid hair if you were curious. So we've checked this out with no CC. So what I'm going to do is reload my game and pop my mods back in, and I'm gonna risk it all for the biscuit. So we'll see how this turns out. So I'll be back in just a second. Okay, so I'm back in game with my mods, and the first thing that I just want to point out is that it definitely ruined this new home screen. I didn't talk about it, but they obviously really completely changed what this looks like. But some mod I have in has completely messed this up. I think that it's UI, because I think I saw that he posted that he needs to work on that, but that's broken if you have mods in. Okay, so my cast background is working. I did already update my more cast columns because that's already been updated, and I need cast columns because of all the things I have. So the first thing that I can point out is that all the custom skin tones are gone. I told you guys that I have a lot of custom skin tones in my game, and so all of those are missing right now. So that's gonna be the first thing that I see that's not here. Let's pick this color for her, and then let's try some makeup. So I have a butt ton of makeup. So let's try, looks like the hue slider is not working. The opacity slider does work on CC eyeshadow. No saturation, no brightness. Let's check one more. Opacity still works. No saturation, no brightness. Oh, and I just realized you can also save makeup. So let's check one of my accesses. Like, that is actually really cool that you can do that with this one. And then you save it, and so then you just get like another little swatch here. So that's actually really cool. I wonder if that'll work on one of these. It actually does. Okay, so it does work on custom eyeshadow as well. So it looks like the opacity slider is working. Custom eyeliner, it's working. Let's see, is opacity working on that? So opacity is working on that as well. Looks like opacity, actually, yeah, it looks like opacity is the only slider that's working on any custom makeup, but all that stuff is still here. All of my custom makeup, it looks like it's still here. Oh, custom eyes, let's check those out. Okay, so custom eyes are working. Also, I do have the minimalism, and they updated that. So she updated that already. So I have that. So all my custom eyes are working. Let's check skin details. It's one of my favorite skins. It looks really good. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I fully expected all these things to be broken and to like have to completely start over with all of my like skin details and stuff. And I have a bunch. So it actually looks like all of these are still working. So that's actually really good. Let's give her some eyelashes so she can be a true person. Like, that's really good. This is actually pretty good. I'm really excited. Not nearly as many things broke as I thought. Also, from what I've heard, custom skin tones are broken, but if you have the skin tone in game, the sim won't be broken. So this is, like I told you, I play with a lot of berry sims, so they do also obviously all use custom skin tones, and so it is still in the game, so it's not broken in that it's gone away, but it's just her skin tone's not here. So that's actually pretty cool. So at the very least we can still kind of have that. And then I don't know if I showed you, but you can now just like randomize the skin tones, which you could do before, and I showed it in a random genetics video that I did. You can randomize this, you could randomize the skin tones like down here, but now it's really easy to do. So when you do like a random genetics, it'll be really easy. Okay, so that is going to be it for this video. I'm pretty happy with this update. I think that it is going to make a big difference for a lot of people when they're creating sims and trying to create sims that they feel are appropriate representations of themselves. I do still think that there's a lot of work that needs to be done in making this game as inclusive as it should be, but I do appreciate the Sims team finally hearing what people are saying and taking strides to try to improve that. I'll be really excited to kind of see what everyone does, and I can't wait to kind of see how all this stuff works out for like genetics and things like that. So I'll probably update some of my Sims families to try to use some of these new skin tones instead of custom skin tones I've had them using previously, and then maybe we'll be able to see kind of how genetics plays out with all this. But you guys will have to let me know, what do you think about the new update? Are you happy with it? Did you want more? Let me know down below, and I will see you all next time. Bye.